standard stuff. But the UK is doing something which is completely unforgivable in a way which is not just going to work against them, but is actually making the country look worse on a whole, on an entire global scale. So what am I talking about? Well, we obviously know what I'm talking about, which is the rise of surveillance and digital surveillance. Now, this started off with the Online Safety Act, which was passed by the Conservatives in 2023 and was enforced last year. Basically, it was a ban on adult content and Alcoholics Anonymous and stuff that was deemed as 18 plus. Now, this one was arguably justifiable. Obviously, no one voted for it, wasn't in any of the manifestos, no one actually wanted it, but it was a lot more justifiable in the sense that people could understand at least there was maybe a good reason for it. Maybe they just wanted to protect the children, but now, no. It's completely off. We know exactly what's happening because we have just been announced in the last about week a string of fantastic things which will make our lives so much better. My favourite of them is that the UK is now making platforms like YouTube prioritise regulated content like the BBC, ITV and Channel 4, which is just amazing for someone who runs a small channel like me. So why are they even bothering? I mean, they're not even bothering to give a reason for this. They're saying it's to stop the spread of disinformation. And, I mean, one reason a lot of people have seen this is the going around of videos. The spread of videos that work against the government's. One example of this is one you've probably seen recently, which is the Birmingham video of a white guy who gets attacked by a bunch of people, and then the police arrest him. Now, you can say what you want, you can get conspiratorial, say it's like, you know, they're attacking him because he's white or whatever, but even if you completely ignore the demographics of the situation, it's still not okay and an absolute failure on the police. Also, the police officer gets so angry when someone who's just been attacked is probably filled with adrenaline, gently fights back against someone attacking them. If you actually watch the video, you'll see just how angry everyone looks. There's an essence of hate for the victim, which is not something that we want in this country, especially in West Midlands Police. Now, obviously, you could say, well, this is a one-off event. Well, obviously, it's not a one-off event. You can see this so many times with the spreading of videos on social media. Notoriously, there was the women, I think it was Dundee, you'll probably fact-check me, the young girls who had an axe to fight off the Bulgarian migrant. And the police, again, don't seem to want these videos to be spreading. The problem is this isn't a one-off situation. If this was a one-off situation, it's a bit more justifiable. The police may say, okay, listen, we made a mistake, we're sorry guys, it's not going to happen again, we're going to address the problems. But that is not what they've done. It keeps happening. It's happened again and again and again. And what are they doing about it? Rather than addressing the problems and maybe addressing what the public wants, even the fact that Bono isn't elected and should call a prime minister, sorry, not call a prime minister, call a general election. No, instead they are doing this. The next thing they're doing, which links to this, is the under 16 social media ban. Now, I'm actually not insanely against some form of a social media ban for under 16s, but I think what they're doing is really poor. I think they should ban short form content, but that's my opinion. But what they're doing is they're doing an Online Safety Act approach, but for basically all social media. So it's no longer you need to age verify to watch something which most people would agree you need to be old enough to watch. No! Now it's you need to age verify for pretty much anything. For example, even YouTube. I'm pretty young, I'm 18, and I watched YouTube from the age of 12 and I have come out fine. I am not a radicalised person. But most people who apparently do watch YouTube must be, because YouTube is banned as well as lots of other social medias. Now, they were talking about banning X for a while. Is X next on chopping block? Probably. It probably is. We are also the most surveilled country in the entire world, in case you didn't know, with 10% of London being covered by security cameras. Except these security cameras conveniently aren't used when they're needed to be used, which is a great reflection on how our government's running. Anyway, that's off the topic. So, what is actually the plan? How are they going to do this? Well, you may think, why don't I just use a VPN? You know, I'm not really comfortable giving my ID to the government. okay, they want to do what they want, but I will just connect to the VPN, and then I will access the internet. No, no, no! They're coming for VPNs as well! We will join the great club of Russia, North Korea, and Iran, some of the only countries in the world that have banned VPNs. I cannot wait to join them. It is going to be fantastic. So they're age-gating VPNs, which means you need to be of a certain age. I think the actual prospect of banning all VPNs has been scrapped because it's completely illogical. Businesses use it. I mean, the civil service use it. We can't seriously ban something the civil service use, right? No, we can. But that's completely off topic. So how far is this ban actually going to go? And is this it? I think we all know this is probably not it. This has been a really weird thing the government's just decided to do over the last week, of just completely throwing everything out, just scrapping everything that we had of any form of freedom on the internet, any form of anonymity, which is something that the internet's been great for historically. I can write a comment on a football page saying, fuck all Crystal Palace fans, long live Brighton and Hove Albion, and I can do that, and I won't get denied a job for it. I won't have anything happen to me for it. Why? Because the internet's a place where everyone knows nothing's going to happen. Well, those days are over, because now you need to be ID'd. So what's coming next? Well, I see a couple of realities. First one is real names legally have to be used on social media profiles. This is something which people don't talk about enough, and is something which definitely could happen in future. Some form of government ID, and you have to make a social media account from the ID which links to your real name. So even though you may appear anonymous online, the government still knows who you are, so if you do something bad, you get banned. The second thing that they could happen is serious censorship of over-politicized content. Now, what's something I'm actually quite surprised about is that this isn't only going for political content, is this ban. If the ban was exclusively going for political content, whilst that's not okay, it would be slightly more, I can see why the government might do it to protect their agenda. But no, they're coming for everything, which is such a problematic thing to do for the platform. I mean, people are going to lose revenue because of this. People are arguably going to use their jobs because of this, if you count YouTube as a job, which I do. So, I mean, how is this okay? Well, the truth is, as constantly happens in the UK, there's not really much you can do about it. There's not an election for another 2 years. Andy Burnham's going to come in. I actually liked Andy Burnham. I live in Manchester, and I know I don't sound like I live in Manchester, but I've moved to Manchester quite recently, and I think the B network's pretty nice. I like the trams, but this is completely ridiculous. He should not only call a general election because he's not elected, but he shouldn't do things that are outside of his manifesto. If he's asking me anything on Reddit, you might notice, I mean, Reddit, you know, not only is it obviously monitored so no one asks him the difficult questions, I mean, you can go look at it yourself. Obviously, the questions on the big stuff, like this and immigration, they're completely left unanswered. No, he's just responding to the light questions, like, oh, Andy Burnham, what's your 3 favourite movies? Oh, I'm so glad I get to know what his 3 favourite movies are. It's been amazing. Anyway, no, in the Ask Me Anything, he cited a reason to not bring in proportional representation as the fact that it was in the manifesto. But, oh, isn't this convenient? This isn't in the manifesto, but we can bring this in. Oh, yes, of course we can. Because isn't that convenient? Oh, it's amazing. I mean, really, there's sometimes, you know, stuff like this, it's just so illogical. So many, it's like, this isn't even a good move for any reason. It's like sometimes they do things which are really unpopular, and I'm like, okay, that's not a good thing, but I know why they did it. But this just doesn't seem to help anyone beyond the government. And I mean, the thing is as well, is this isn't going to get removed. Even if you're a big reform or restore backer, they're not going to remove this. It's too convenient. This is too much about control. This makes things easier for them. Are they going to do more? No. They're going to revoke this? No, of course they're not going to revoke this. Because it's going to be in the manifesto, but we don't have any method of actually punishing things that aren't coming from manifestos. You know, you look at government petitions. Government petitions, they get over 100,000 views. I think it's 100,000 signatures. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're supposed to be debated in Parliament. Now, obviously, if it's one like call a general election, okay, fine, they might not debate that because people vote for them. If every time 100,000 people ask for a general election, you know, it would be crazy. But for something like this, they aren't going to debate this. This is going to go through, this is going to happen, and it's going to screw all of us over. and there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it. That's it. That's completely it. There is nothing we're going to be able to do about it.